Hey guys. I'm going to sound way less smart than Ben, so I'm glad I hope you got all your learning. Hello, important and possible MIT student people. I'm Craig Allen. I kind of look like if Justin Bieber and Katie Lang had a baby with Dave Grohl. And I am one of the 2 writers that wrote the Old Spice campaign. So Isaiah was supposed to be here, but he's very important, and I think somebody's paying him money to be somewhere else, a lot of money. So we can't blame him for making money. But he did send a little audio message. Hopefully this works.
Hello, internet brain people, and also smart student-type people of MIT. I'm sorry I couldn't join you at ROFLcon. I truly hate to miss it because it is the most prestigious and valued of all the cons, except for perhaps hanging with ladies while eating nachos con. But you must understand that I am currently busy using my biceps as a dam to stop a tidal wave from flooding a small village. Then immediately after that, I leave to begin my underwater lecture series teaching sharks how to weld. I miss this time we would have been spending together learning the internets, but mainly I missed having the opportunity to ask you smart people in person if someone could please use their most muscular parts of their brain to build me an invisible 6-door luxury sports coupe that I can fly and has a 16-person hot tub in it. I need it for my upcoming summer vacation road trip to space. I would take my own, but it broke down, and the parts that fix it are expensive and so foreign that they come from a land that no one has actually been to yet. Goodbye for now, friends. Smiley face emoticon, winking face emoticon, hashtag I love ROFLcon and internetpeople.com.
So I prepared some slides, but I didn't know what I was going to talk about. So I'm going to go through them really quickly though, so they're not too boring. I kind of started working at Chiat Day in New York, and that's my sad little first cube on the left, which was in just the end of the hallway, real sad, by a heater that ended up being like a health hazard. So I worked on Skittles and Starburst and Snickers and vodka, basically everything bad for you. So I kind of did a bunch of Skittles spots, and I think that they would have done better if it came out later, but YouTube was still young and people didn't know what to do with it yet, I think. So I worked there for 5 years, and then I went to Wieden+Kennedy, where I am now, which is a pretty cool place to work because they have a Coke machine that gives out free Cokes and beer on every floor, and also a basketball court. So there's worse places to work at, for sure. Oh, and there's a giant wooden beaver made out of cardboard. Oh, there he is. That's my desk. It's real blurry. I was just kind of in a hurry. It's kind of where Old Spice props go to die. Giant Fabio and Isaiah paper mache mask. I have Isaiah's legs from the second commercial, which is kind of weird because there's like some gross leg hair still in them. And then the cake from the second one. But basically I try to take something from every shoot, and then it just sits in my office. So it's kind of like a weird Old Spice museum. But yeah, so I'm here to talk about Old Spice, and more importantly, that gentleman. I kind of dug around and I found the original storyboards that we presented to the client, which clearly we knew we were going to cast Isaiah Mustafa at the time. So, I mean, it's identical. These are the original shooting boards from the director, which actually we knew it was going to be Isaiah, so I guess that's why he doesn't have any hair. But yeah, that's kind of where push-in and pull-outs and everything was kind of established. And because it was all one take, which everybody I think knows by now. This is some print that we did, and I just thought it was kind of funny because these are the original drawings compared to what we ended up with. And I don't know how many people saw this print, but it was funny because there was a lot of debate on if the Old Spice guy should have a girlfriend, and if he does, should he have more than one girlfriend? And, which we answered yes, and the P&G answered no. So in this campaign, he had one girlfriend that we tried to make look like a different girl, which didn't really work. But we didn't have a girl in there at first, and we put Isaiah up on that horse. And I looked at it, and I was like, I don't know. This looks slightly weird. I think we should probably add a girl. I don't know what this is saying currently. So we quickly cast a girl and got her in there. And now we're entering the part of the talk where I'm psychic and answer all of your questions before you can ask them because I am psychic. So, did anything funny happen on this commercial shoot? Also, is Isaiah single? Tell us about the commercial shoot. Also, is Isaiah single? I believe he actually is single now. So those are some outtakes from the print. It's kind of, we just kind of hang out and have a good time, which I think comes through in the work. But one kind of funny thing is we almost killed him on every shoot. Everyone. Like the first one was, I don't know how many have seen like the making of, which I think they put online, but the bathroom weighs like 75 billion pounds. And it's on a giant crane that gets pulled up from this half of a boat that we built. Everything was going pretty good, and all of a sudden we heard like a giant snap, and the bathroom just comes flying down at supersonic speed, and Isaiah jumps out of the way, and it scratched his back, and it crushed the boat, and we're all like, oh my God. I mean, Isaiah wasn't Isaiah yet. We were like, we killed this unknown actor. So we kind of went over, and luckily that's when I knew Isaiah was going to be pretty cool to work with, because we walked over and I was like, oh dude, are you all right? Are you okay? Is anything dead on you? And he was like, no, I'm cool, let's go. So I was like, I like this dude. So yeah, it took us like 5 hours to rebuild the boat, but we got it done. And every one of those shoots were kind of a nightmare. Like I hate every time we make a new one, I hate it. I'm like, please, no. I remember the first one we did 63 takes over 2 days, and it would be, I think we had 3 usable takes. So it was the best editing experience ever, because it took about 5 minutes. But yeah, it sucked. It was like, luckily Isaiah is like a rock. He doesn't mess up, which is great because everything else messes up. So like, he would get halfway through it, and the guy that was handing him the clamshell would drop it, or it wouldn't be open, and we'd have to rewind, take everything back, or the horse would be pooping, or like, it was just a nightmare. But how did you come up with the Old Spice guy? You don't seem very smart. Which I would answer be like, that's real mean, guys. Whoever was going to ask that, it's real mean. So that's some other print we did. Isaiah was not super happy because that volcano weighed a lot of weight on his head because it had to light up, but he was a good sport about it. So basically our process in writing, luckily our kind of work day is 99% meetings about nothing, and then we have about 45 minutes to actually think of ideas. Oh, that was weird. So basically, I usually read some kind of funny video internet site, such as BuzzFeed or Reddit or any of the other ones. Then I usually go to ESPN. Then I attempt concepting for about approximately 35 seconds. And then I go to some celebrity gossip site and see what's going on with Frankie Muniz. Then I go right back to ESPN to see if anything happened or if anyone passed away or anything. Then I attempt concepting for another 23 seconds. And then I look at this picture a lot because it makes me happy. And then I go back to ESPN. And then I do some actual concepting. A lot of people think that our concepting would look a lot like this, like we're just jamming out to Metallica and playing keyboards while playing ping pong while in a hot tub. But in reality, it's more like this. Really depressing, guys. It's us sitting in a room in silence, hating each other, and putting ideas up on the wall, and then hating each other, and then taking them down and getting in a fight, and then coming back and trying to figure it out. But that spot, the first spot in particular, I think we had 2 days to write, which is one of my theories of why it ended up being much better than the other 2 ones that we made. We kind of wrote it and we just started talking, and I remember turning to Eric and I was like, I said the first line, "Hello ladies, look at your man, now back to me." And he was like, that's kind of funny. We wrote it down, we kept going. We kind of came back to it in the morning, we wrote the spot, like word for word. And we thought we had a radio spot, and we presented it to our CDs, and we were like, hey, we wrote a funny radio spot, I think. And they're like, that is a funny radio spot. Then we kept concepting, and we came back, and we're like, well, why don't we make it a TV spot? Well, what would we show? And we had no time, and I was like, maybe we just show exactly what he's saying. Like, maybe no one will notice. And so that's it, and we like ran into the meeting, and it was just one of like several scripts we presented. In fact, the client actually bought a different script that we were like, okay, we still liked it, but we liked the Isaiah one better. And then we ended up coming back a couple days later, and we're like, we think you made a huge, giant mistake. And luckily they're great clients, so they were like, okay, we trust you. So that's how that one kind of came about. Has creating the Old Spice guys affected your life personally? 100% yes, kind of. The positives are I get to go to like foreign lands and ride roller coasters doing work and get paid for it, and then I get to do crazier spots now where a prop comes in the mail and it's just a man's head. That's a normal thing. But also a really hot woman, topless woman, did our spot, which was awesome. And I thought the highlight was that Grover did our spot. That blew my mind more than anything in the world. But it's funny because Ben kind of touched on this a little bit. I remember when everybody started doing these parodies, Old Spice came to us, and they said, what should we do? Should we tell them to stop? Should we tell them to keep going? And we were like, no, what are you doing? No, this is awesome. And they were like, okay, cool. So that was like, it did come up, and it was very much like, we just thought it was awesome. I mean, it's a commercial, you know, like, how cool is it that people are remaking a commercial? I was like, what could be possibly bad about this? They're hilarious. So we just kind of went with it, and that's kind of our policy on everything Old Spice is. We've done Terry Crews. People go crazy with Terry Crews, and I watch all of them, and I love almost 99% of them. Which is also cool because we won an award, like a real person award, where you get to go to the Emmys and pretend that you're an important person and meet other important people, and they kind of talk to you because you have a trophy. But the highlight was that we got to go to Fabio's house recently and ride motorcycles with him. This dude has a lot of motorcycles, guys. He has like 250 motorcycles. That's his garage. I kind of snuck some pictures in when he wasn't looking. It was a good day where I embarrassed myself a lot. The bad parts are that we always tend to shoot these spots over Christmas, so I haven't had a Christmas in like 3 years, so my mom kind of gives me dirty looks like this, and my dog silently judges me and hates me. But we get to ride roller coasters, and this is one of my cars. It's not one of my cars. The only people making money off this are P&G and Isaiah, sadly. But I do get to ride roller coasters and ride motorcycles with Fabio. I mean, look at the joy in that picture. I won the championship. Like, it's all happening. I get this question a lot. Can you make something viral? And my answer is always 100% maybe, but probably no, kind of doubtful. It's funny because in advertising we get briefs. It's very weird. Talk to Isaiah. Let's see what happens here. How do I turn on the video? Isaiah?
Yes, sir.
I'm not seeing you on this video. Oh.